وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. In the previous segment, we dealt with Al-Mustahada, and we said that Al-Mustahada is the woman who has irregular discharge of blood, which is different from menstruation. And this Mustahada has 4 situations. We dealt with 2 situations. And the first situation, what's the first situation? You said that if a woman...
The first one, which is the woman is conversant with the what's called the leader, she know that
her period, that's why. She's accustomed to it, she's conversant with it, she knows her period. If the period lasts about 5 days, 7 days, it doesn't matter, she knows it. So she has no problem. As soon as those days are covered, then after those days she has to purify herself in the state of purity, and then she assumes normal salah and then fasting, true or false. Now, the second situation will be
like 50-50.
50-50. What does it 50-50 means? 50-50 of money to share, 50-50 what?
I think she's kind of maybe a little bit of doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she knows the difference between the leader and the Mustahada, Istihada.
That's correct. That's very true. No, she can differentiate with what? The menstrual blood and the what? Irregular blood. Now, so that is also known. The third situation is what we are going to deal with. So you read it. الحالة الثالثة.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحالة الثالثة إذا لم يكن لها عادة تعرفها ولا صفة تميز بها الحيض من غيره.
Now, in this situation, this woman is unaware of specific number of days that constitutes hate for her. Neither she is aware of any sign by which she can differentiate hate from what? From irregular blood flow. Now, what will she do? What is the guidance? Continue. فإنها
تجلس غالب الحيض 6 أيام أو 7 أيام من كل شهر.
In this situation, she has to what? Wait for either 6 days or 7 days, because that is the maximum of the majority of women. Maximum waiting period of majority of women who are experiencing what? Menstruation. That's what she has to do. And after that, in every month, she has to what? Wait for what? For the maximum number of days that constitutes what? Menstruation of a regular, normal, usual what? Woman. Why? لأن هذه عادة غالب النساء. This is what? In the majority of cases concerning what? The menstruation of women. Now, why? What is the delil?
لقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم لحمنة بنت جحش إنما هي رضة من الشيطان.
So our Rasul is saying to Hamna bint Jash, the daughter of Jash, that this is just an injury from Shaitan. Forget about it. Don't listen to Shaitan and do what? Fatahayyadi. Go ahead and what? Continue, make your menstruation. Now, how many days? Say that ayyamin or 7 ayyamin for either 6 days or 7 days. Why? Because this constitutes what? Normal number of maximum number of days that a woman can go menstruating. Now, then what happens? ثم اغتسلي. And if after this waiting period, 6 to 7 days, what? Take your ghusl. Take your ghusl. And then
فإذا استيقظت
فإذا استنقعت
فصلي 24
So if you purify yourself after your purification, after your ghusl, what should you do? Then go ahead and make salah. فصلي 24 أو 23. You make salah for how many days? Either 24 days or what? 23 days. Then the days that what? You have assumed what? Purity now. And thereafter, what do you do? وصومي وصلي. Go ahead to assume your normal ibadah, making your salah and then make your fasting as well. فإن ذلك يجزئك. That is sufficient for you. That is the best direction given by our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وكذلك ففعلي كما تحيد. This is what you do, just as women when they are what? Menstruating. You just, when at the end of the what? The menstrual period, you just have to what? Take your ghusl and then assume normal forms of ibadah that you were previously or hitherto forbidden to do. Now. So this of course is a hadith, sahih, an authentic hadith reported by Tirmidhi and then the group. Now. والحاصل
مما سبق أن المعتادة ترد إلى عادتها.
So in conclusion, what we can infer from what has passed, what we have read to you from the Shaykh, is that you have a woman who is aware of her period. Now, we call her al-mu'tada. We call that woman what? Al-mu'tada, meaning she's used to her own period. You can't dictate to him or her, you can't dictate to her because she's aware, fully aware of her period. Now, here we call her al-mu'tada. والمميزة
ترد إلى العمل بالتمييز.
So a woman that resorts to what? Distinction. That she will use what? To make it clear, conspicuous, that she was able to differentiate between what? The blood of faith and the blood of what? Istihada. Now, such a woman is also considered here. Why?
والفاقدة لهما تحيض 6 أو 7.
والفاقدة لهما تحيض 6 أو 7. Now, then you have the in between the what? The woman who is used to her other, and the woman who resorts to what? To distinction between what? Blood, irregular blood, which is istihada, and then regular blood, which is what? With haid. That is the third.
وفي هذا جمع بين السنن الثالث والواردة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في المستحاضة.
وفي هذا جمع بين السنن الثالث الواردة عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في المستحاضة. With this we have a total word blend, and then reconciliation of what? Of all the three forms we have mentioned that Rasulullah has given as guidelines to what? To the sunnah pertaining to what? Menstruation of women, and then al-istihada if it occurs. This is how you can blend effectively between what? All the situations that confront the woman. So قال شيخ الإسلام
ابن تيمية رحمه الله والعلامات التي قيل بها ست.
So Shaykh Islam rahimahullah is saying that the signs that I've mentioned no more up to 6. Now, what are they?
إما العادة
إما العادة, that is either the situation whereby it is the ada, meaning the normal period known by what? To the woman. Now, this considered, that's what called al-ada, that she is used to, accustomed to, and familiar with. This is what we call al-ada. Why? فإن العادة
فإن العادة أقوى العلامات.
And because al-ada is the strongest of all the signs. Al-ada, that a situation whereby a woman is used to her own period, that is the most what? Trustworthy, the strongest of all the periods. She has no problem with that at all. There's no issue with that. You know your period. Nobody argues with you. When the period comes, you know what to do. You wait for those days. 5, 6, 7 is up to you now. And then after that, you take your purification and assume normal salah or fasting. So this is what Shaykh Islam Ibn Taymiyyah refers to what? Aqwa al-alamat, the strongest of all the signs that have been mentioned.
لأن الأصل مقام الحيض دون غيره.
Because originally what a woman is looking for is what? The ada, a situation that is known to her. The original issue is what? Haid, menstruation. That's the issue. Istihada is secondary. So the primary reason is what? Is what? Haid, menstruation, that is encountered by a woman every month.
وإما تمييز.
Or that distinctive feature that happens also to her as a situation. Now,
لأن الدم الأسود ثخين والمنتن أولى أن يكون حيضا من الأحمر.
Because the second, which we call the second issue or situation, which is the tamyiz, that is because when the blood is dark, is thick, is smelly, right? What comes to your mind? It is head. So here you have what? Tamyiz here. It is clear. It is distinctive. طيب. أولا يكون هيدا من الأحمر. It's more of hate than what? If the blood, the color of it is what? Red. If it's reddish, no, it cannot be hate. Now, it is more likely, very likely to be what? Istihada. Now, so that's why he mentioned that at-tamiz is the second factor or feature to consider. Or considering the maximum number of regular women. The average woman sits how many days in the month for menstruation? 6 to what? To 7, as mentioned by the Shaykh, rahimahullah. Now, that's why he mentioned intibar. Now,
لأن الأصل إلحاق الفرد بالأعم الأغلب.
Because normally we go with what? The majority of cases. Now, we make judgment not on one unit, but what? The total unit. Now, the majority of cases. So if that happens, then we have to what? A woman, for example, she, as we have said before, she's not used to having her own period mentioned or specified. Neither she has what? Sign that will regulate or determine what, which is it, whether it is haid or istihada. In such a situation, then she has to wait for what? The number of days that normal, the majority of women what wait for. Waiting period for her will be what? Following what? The example of what? The majority of cases that women are relevant to women now. So we have to base the law, the hukm, the judgment upon the issue of what that happens, occurs to the majority of women. Now,
فهذه العلامات الثالث تدل عليها سنة الاعتبار.
فهذه العلامات الثلاث تدل عليها السنة والاعتبار. And all these three examples that we have mentioned are what? Born out from what? The sunnah of Rasulullah and then consideration of what? The practical terms that that go with women, from experience that of women and then the sunnah of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, وأصوب الأقوال
وقال في النهاية وأصوب الأقوال اعتبار العلامات التي جاءت بها سنة.
So what needs to happen is that we have to go with the examples given by what? Ar-Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is our safe guide to the issue of istihada, nam, and then al-haid pertaining to our women. May Allah protect all of us. Nam.
وإلغاء ما سوى ذلك.
And then let the rest alone. We have to what? Hold tenaciously to the sunnah of our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this matter, as explained by Shaykh Islam bin Taymiyyah rahimahullah. Now, our next segment will be what? ما يلزم
المستحاضة في حال الحكم بطهارتها.
No. ما يلزم المستحاضة في حال الحكم بطهارتها. What the mustahada needs to do or not to do if a woman is in the state of istihada, then things that she should do and things that she should not do. Pertain to that, now,
يجب عليها أن تغتسل عند نهاية حيضتها المعتبرة
حسب ما سبق. As explained earlier, now she has to what? Keep to the rules and principles and regulations pertaining what? To what has been explained before, and that has been detailed out. Number one, because of this, what should she do? Here's the guidance. That's it.
تغسيل فرجها لإزالة ما عليه من الخارج عند كل صلاة.
Now, if istihada happens, she's not forbidden to make salah. Is she forbidden to make salah? No. What steps that she should take to protect herself? She should have to wash, clean her private parts now, and then get prepared for what? For salah. Now, all these segments point to the fact. All of these points to the fact that, with much sensitivity, that she has to protect herself, and then clean herself. Make sure that no blood flows as she's making salah. She has to stuff herself very well, use modern sanitary pads and things like that, all mentioned, in order to protect herself. Now, very well tight. Now, and because of that, This is the gist, conclusion of this segment, this paragraph. Now, but for the purpose of disseminating knowledge, I will let me read further now. But this is the sum. This is the summary of all of this now.
وتجعل في المخرج قدنا ونحو
وتجعل في المخرج قطنا ونحوه يمنع الخارج وتشهد عليه ما يمسكه عن السقوط ثم تتوضأ عند دخول وقت كل صلاة لقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم المستهادة تدع الصلاة أيام أقرائها ثم تغتسل وتتوضأ عند كل صلاة. That is all what it means. Now, in other words, the woman should what? Make sure that she cleans and stuffs her private part very well to check the flow of blood, right? Now, so that this will enable her to what? To make salah at any time. But at the time when it is time for salah, she should wait until what? It is time for salah and then she makes the salah. Now, because it is such that it can be uncontrollable, but in order to control it, once she's ready with her sanitary parts, then she does that. It is time for salah. Then she can make salah. She can read the Quran. Now, why? Because the flow of blood is very irregular. Now, why? But the suggestion of Rasulullah is that وقال
لقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم في المستحاضة تضع الصلاة أياما أقرأها ثم تغتسل وتواضع.
So at the event of any salah, at the advent of any salah, then she should do that, and then what? She should be able to make salah. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم. But here's a suggestion of Rasulullah. He's suggesting that An'atu leki. He said to her, I suggest to you, An'atu min asifu leki. I suggest, this is my suggestion to you. Al-Kursuf. When Rasulullah mentioned that the woman has to or should stuff what? Herself with what? With cotton, as a cotton, right? Cotton. Now, he also mentioned al-kursuf. What is kursuf? Tahshina bihi al-makan. To stuff the place. We know the place, the private part, right? Now, with what? Cotton. That is what? Cotton. Now, type. Is that only cotton? Now, this is what the Shaykh is saying. ويمكن استعمال الحفائظ الطيبية الموجودة الآن. She can also resort to what? The present day, the modern day or current what? Sanitary pads now. And then which is in abundance, right? That's why there's abundance everywhere. So she doesn't have to make, as far use the kursuf now, but modern sanitary pads that can what? Do the same thing. Something to protect her from what? Frequent flow of blood. This can enable her to what? To make salah. Now, anytime it is time for salah. Mafhum. Any questions about that? Very clear. Now, this is done. ثالثا, now we are going to النفاس وأحكام. نعم.
والنفاس كالحيض فيما يحل.
So we are done with the haid and the istihada. We are going to what we call anifas. What is anifas? Now.
The istihada, is it common to? Is it like happens to the ladies most commonly every time, or is it often or not often?
It is common, yes, it's common. It is common. But more common than that is what? The hate. Now, but it does happen. This does happen now. You have all these three situations, and maybe it could be even more. Now, these situations do happen. That's why they have been detailed out here, inshallah. So they do happen. Now, طيب والنفاس
والنفاس كالحد فيما يحل كالاستمتاع منها دون الفرج.
Now, nifas is just like it's like hate. In terms of what? In terms of what? Blood flow prevents her from what? For salah. And then siyam, so forth and so on. Now, طيب كالاستمتاع منها دون الفرج. In other words, let us try to do justice to this. At the time of Eid, it is said that her husband can play with her now, but not sleep with her now. The same thing, a woman in nifas, right? That is what? Prenatal blood flow or blood flow after childbirth. Now, it's the same law. A woman who is going through nifas, in terms of blood, is also the woman who is going to menstruation in terms of blood, the blood flow. And during the time the blood is flowing, the husband cannot approach her intimately. Do you understand? Now. But instinctively, they say she can enjoy it, but avoid the intimacy. Right now. وفيما يحرم
وفيما يحرم
كالوطء
في الفرج ومنع الصوم والصلاة والطلاق
so that there should be no intimacy that is haram. Some is also haram. She won't do some or salah or talaq. All these that were mentioning are what? Are forbidden unto what? A woman in her menstruation as well as what? Pre what? The time of what? Postnatal what? Blood. والطواف
وقراءة القرآن
reading of the
واللبث في المسجد.
Remain in the masjid. Now. وفي
وجوب الغسل
على النفساء
على
النفساء and then عند قطاع دمها كالهيد. If the blood stops flowing after what? Post childbirth or after menstruation, what happens? She has to what? Take ghusl. It's the same thing. So you see, nifas is just like what? Like menstruation in terms of what to do and what not to do. All these things apply what? To the woman in her post childbirth period and then what? Post menstruation.
So it's almost the same.
It's the same.
So that means is the time she missed, she has to make up.
Exactly. So she should not make touch with the Quran. She should not what? Make salah. And all these is that are mentioned. Now you have to memorize them, inshallah. Now, when you fast, now, go ahead.
ويجب عليها أن تقضي الصيام دون الصلاة. فلا تقضيها كالحائض.
And this is what you said right now. You asked me right now. In that situation, she will make fasting. She will make up for the fasting, but not to make up for the salah. Mafhum, understandable, very clear now. What nifas? Now is going. Here's the definition of what? Nifas. Now.
والنفاس دم ترخيه الرحم للولادة وبعدها.
What we call nifas is blood that is discharged from the womb at the time of birth, after birth. Now, during the time of birth and after childbirth. وهو بقية
الدم الذي احتبس في مدة الحمل.
During the time of pregnancy, blood is contained, is collected in the womb. So after childbirth, the blood what flows. It flows for what? Specific period. What is that specific period?
وأكثر مدة عند الجمهور 40 يوما.
وأكثر مدته عند الجمهور 40 يوما. The maximum of this blood flow after childbirth is how many days? 40 days. 40 days. طيب. Very good. قال الترمذي
أجمع أهل العلم من الصحابة والتابعين ومن بعدهم على أن النفساء تدع الصلاة 40 يوما.
قال الترمذي أجمع أهل العلم من الصحابة والتابعين ومن بعدهم على أن النفساء تدع صلاة 40 يوما إلى أن ترى طهر قبل ذلك فتغتسل وتصلي. So it is an area of unanimity. It is unanimous according to Imam Tirmidhi among all scholars from whom? Among the Sahaba and the Tabi'in, that the maximum number of days that blood flows is discharged from the woman after childbirth is what? 40 days. 40 days. طيب. And for that matter, so if that blood stops flowing after 40 days, then she has to what? Take the ghusl and then assume normal what? Salah and then fasting as well. Are we okay on that? No.
Similar to
Hey.
similar to height.
It's the same thing.
If it stops before 40 days, it also you should make ghusl and she starts praying as well, correct?
If it stops, but you know what? The practical term is that normally it is 40 days, or it can. The list is what? 81 days. They have said the what? The list should be what? 81 days. You can come later as we proceed. But yes, if it is 40 days, right? 40 days. Now, but if it is stored before 40 days, then you have to what? Take ghusl and then assume normal salah and for fasting. Now, but it's the maximum. It can fall before that. Now, so the maximum is 40 days. It can be 30. The situations of women are different, right? Women are not what? Are not they don't have the same what? It's the same issues now. So yes, it is. But the maximum is what you are going to what? They are going to wait for the 40 days. This is the maximum. It could be what? Sometimes more than that. Wallahu alam. No, but in the majority of cases, here we are building off al-akhdhu bil-am. No. That is which is what? Al-ghalibiyah. No. Al-ghalibiyah min an-nisa. The majority of women, maximum after 40 days, the blood flow is for 40 days. Yes, it can be more than less than that, or maybe more than that. But normally, our hukum here should be what? 40 days. During which what? There should be no fasting, there should be no salah, and then after 40 days, alhamdulillah, she will have to take a ghusl and answer normal fasting or what? Or salah. Now, طيب. وإذا ألقت الحامل
وإذا ألقت الحامل ما تبين فيه خلق الإنسان بأن كان فيه
تخطيط
تخطيط وصار معها دم بعد نزوله.
Sometimes, period, now. Sometimes the woman will have miscarriage, right? Miscarriage. How should she deal with the issue of miscarriage? Go on. Okay. فَلَهَا حَكَامُ النُّفَسَاء. Now, so in other words, if a woman has miscarriage, she should watch. If the miscarriage that comes out is in the form of mankind, human being, if the body, the clot has been formed, it has been formed, then it will take the law or hukum of what? Of nufasa. Then it should be what? Considered as what? Like a human being. A human being, a child, a baby has been born. What happens? She will what? Sit for what? 40 days, waiting for the blood to be over. Then she purifies herself. If only the miscarriage, the baby is formed. Now, طيب. والمدة التي يتبين فيها خلق الإنسان في الحمل 3 أشهر غالبا. And this time that the baby is formed normally takes 3 months. Maybe after conception, 3 months after conception, the baby is formed. You see the shape, all the forms are shaped. Now, in this case, if there's miscarriage, she has to wait for 40 days, is considered as nifas. And the minimum is what? 80 days. 90 days or what? Of 80 days. Now, that is 81 days. Now, the maximum is 3 months, the baby will be formed. Other than that, 81 also is possible, the baby will be formed. In which case, it will be considered what? The woman is in a state of what? Nufasa. Now, she has to wait for what? 40 days. Now, and then she will purify herself and assume normal what? Salah or what? Or fasting. Now, علاقة أو مضغة لم يتبين فيها تخطيط إنسان لم تعتبر ما ينزل بعدها من الدم نفاسا. Now, but if what happens, the miscarriage, now, there's no human shape that is formed, just a clot or a muscle or a piece of flesh, then she's not considered what? As someone who is called nufasa, then she doesn't have to consider wait for 40 days to come. It is just blood that flows, as irregular blood. It's not normal blood flow. Now, so she's not considered as a nufasa. Now, fala tetruku sola wala siyam. In this case, she will have to purify herself and then continue to what? That's right. That like the al mustahada, right? Al mustahada, we say that she doesn't stop salah. She has to protect herself, right, and continue to make salah and then fast at the same time. Now, so if the blood, the miscarriage does not show the shape of a human being, there is normal blood flow. She has to go on with a normal salah and then fasting.
وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق هو الرزاق ذو القوة